Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Live to Create podcast. It's episode number 3, and we are recording in the office today. I got my boy, my business partner, my good friend, John Goldbranson.
What it do?
What it do? Okay. We are going to make this a quick podcast before we head out of work, and just wanted to set up this 2-camera setup in the office to see how it looks before we start recording a lot more videos. So in this specific video, what did I say we were going to be talking about? We are going to be talking about the evolution of video marketing then and now. So I guess give the listeners and viewers a little bit of background about you and your e-commerce world, or maybe even before that, like 10 years ago, of your background of where you kind of started. And then we'll kind of dive into more so video marketing afterwards to kind of paint a picture.
So, I mean, I started way back when I was back in Norway. I started creating talents, and it was a tech company based around helping creatives land work wherever in the world they're at. So back then it was all about Facebook marketing, and it was all about all of these things. Are you asking me to tie it into that main topic?
No, just kind of a little background. Yeah. Like a quick 2-minute story of who John is.
From Norway and moved to the States, started a tech company that I was just talking about, raised capital for that, and kind of was doing that for 3-4 years. Ended up meeting my wife during that time, shutting down that company, moved to Vegas, and started a skincare company. So got into the whole Amazon e-com world more and more, and been doing that for the past 3.5 years or so, I want to say. And since I've been doing that, kind of got more into UGC and the personal branding side of things. And that's kind of where we met. And here we are.
For sure. It's crazy to see all the different levels you've done in business, from raising, how much did you raise for talents?
Probably like 2.5, 3 million.
Raising like 3 million in talents, to scaling a multi-6-figure skincare brand, to now trying to start a new brand, our gummy brand, which has been a whole long process, but we won't dive into that too much. But we are making progress in that. And now getting into the UGC world, which is user-generated content. Do you want to give people a good idea of what that really is if they've never heard of it?
Yes. I mean, that could be any type of content shot on a brand's behalf by a authentic user, so to speak. You're basically an actor pretending to, or actually enjoying a product, giving your honest review, I guess, or testimonial on a product. It doesn't really have to be that. It could be just someone explaining or showing off how a product works, taken through the way the product works or whatever. But basically where you bridge the gap between the brand and the sale and the customer that is unknowing. So you bridge that gap. They would hire you as a UGC creator and run the ads on their end. So you don't have to have a following. You don't have to be a model or anything like that. You can just be a regular person that would use a product and that is authentic to that product.
And are these typically like high production value
Absolutely
content?
not. No, everything everything is shot on my phone, everything that I do myself, and everything could be edited through CapCut on your phone. So everything is very easy. You could do this from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be locked down. You could be constantly traveling nomad, just see the world, or you could just be a stay-at-home mom that wants to make money, or like me, a dad that just wanted to actually add on to my income and also learning the other side because I own a brand, so yeah.
So it's crazy how nowadays, back then it was like all high level production stuff where you would hire on agencies or big video production companies paying a couple $1,000 upwards to 50, 100K per production.
And that whole thing, shooting
which
for Virgin.
Which is nuts. But now brands are reaching out to normal people who don't have to look like a model, people who just have good energy, good charisma on camera, and can shoot with their iPhone. So it's crazy to see where marketing in general for video marketing is going nowadays. But especially what I wanted to get into was how the perception of what founder was back then, like maybe 5, 10, 20 years ago. People were more so behind the scenes, behind the curtains as a founder.
Yeah.
Whereas the direction is going now, everything is founder led, founder story, branded around that.
I low-key miss the old days, and I'm kind of sad I missed that train, so to speak, because I feel like it's way easier in a sense to just be I like being behind the scenes. Like, believe it or not, I don't care to be on camera. I just do it because it needs to be done in the day and age we're at, you know? So, but back then you could just basically run ads. Facebook was the Wild West, just put money on red basically and just let it rip. And you could build a brand like that, kind of being behind the scenes. Same thing with Amazon. But it's kind of become saturated, I guess. And now people want genuine connection. Like people want to actually know the founders. And again, to like the less effort quality, everything shot on their phone live. A lot of it is even live with the founders, you know, like that's how raw people want it. Unedited, unscripted, just real, authentic. Like I think social media channels and social media influencers and personalities are going to be the new TV networks and new people of that people tune into. Like normal TV is going to fall off completely, where something like YouTube will be the main network, and all these creators will have their own networks within that, and they will have their own pillars. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to see how just everything is gearing towards personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just build endless amounts of brands around you. Like Bloom, for example, built around an influencer. Sour Strips, yeah, built around an influencer in real time. You see this person going from working a corporate job to starting a gym, to then starting a clothing brand, to then now starting a candy brand. And that's a slam dunk home run, you know? So it's just really cool, but you get rewarded for it, but it just takes so much more raw time than what it was before, which makes it's easier now than ever to become a millionaire off the internet, but it's also harder on the flip side because you have to be so all in at all times with content.
Yeah. I feel like before you could be more so behind the scenes, but your business could grow and thrive. Now you could do that, but it might just cost a lot to compete. So if you don't have the capital to compete with ad budget and whatnot, you have to build a deep following, a strong culture around your brand, or a tribe around your personal brand as the founder and around the brand as well. So it's kind of cool to see where it's going, but it does take a longer time to actually grow that following and build that connection, because it doesn't happen overnight as much as we want it to happen overnight.
For sure. Yeah, it's only to those that put in the work, even though a lot of these people, I mean, there are some flukes here and there, same with lottery millionaires, you know, like there are some that just post a random video of them driving or on a skateboard down the street with a juice in their hand and suddenly they're like viral, you know.
For sure.
But in general, it takes to build a connection that's surface level. Like you need to go for depth. So like that's where like niching down goes, right? You build genuine hard connections with people that are so similar to you. But if you have a diehard tribe of 1,000, people should read the book Tribes, where it's like you're talking about all you need is a tribe of 1,000 people and them paying you monthly for something. You're good. You know, you can just relax.
So it's cool to see, like for me and for you as well, like when we tune into like our top 5 favorite YouTubers, we're so invested in like their growth and what they're doing, whether it's a business we follow them when they were building or a new business they're building, but we're so invested in watching them grow as a person that whatever they do decide to launch, we are going to be, a customer and give it a shot to support them over actually trying out the product. If it's a good product, even better.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see that.
For sure. And it's like, we talk about a lot of these people almost as if they're friends because they do let you in, right? So you have a vested interest, like you said, like you do want them to win because you do feel like you know this person because you spend time watching what they're doing. So it's kind of where it comes down to like being on YouTube, being on other things where you can build deep connection. I think YouTube is the best for that, long form, more raw, and then you have top of funnel, which is more TikTok or Instagram. But yeah, I think for sure the goal for anyone should be depth on YouTube. Yeah, but it's the hardest one to grow for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if you told me when I was a teenager, like, all right, this guy's a millionaire, he's making 8 figures, growing a company, I'm like, holy fuck, that's amazing. Like he must be like a unicorn.
Yeah.
If you were telling me now this dude's making 8 figures and I could follow him and looked at what he's doing, I'm like, what the fuck? He's just like me, like just another dipshit making a brand. So it's it makes it a lot more relatable, and it's very motivating as well when we see all these other younger millionaires out there who are building these huge brands that are just like us, which 100%. Makes it like that much more attainable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's it could either drive you or it could
And then I feel like just content in general is shifting more towards like storytelling. I know both of us have tried navigating that into
incorporating
our
more.
incorporating it more into our own content on social.
I love that.
Why do you think it's so important?
You just got to play on feeling, you know, like human have these basic instincts where it's like fear, love, lust, all these things. So if you can play into those, and it's like, for me, I'm very like, if I close my eyes, I can feel a story. Like I can go through the story. A lot of people probably aren't like that, but I guess a lot of people are because this technique seems to work, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
storytelling a lot. But again, bringing people more into like a visual story. So
For sure. I think just by it doesn't have to be like high quality content. Some of it could be really basic, but I think it's just more so in the tone of your voice,
mhm.
the way you're taking them through the storyline, through the scripting and all that. I think content is just going to be a lot more purposeful and a lot more pre-production going to creating a video. Obviously, there's going to be a time and place for like, pulling out your phone and just recording,
Yeah,
very raw and organic as well. But having a storyline to a video, if you're trying to get your point across, to build emotion, I think is the new wave as well.
for sure. Yeah, I think just being raw and authentic. I think is this guy Wes Watson. He ended up he said something about this that was pretty interesting. He said he was able to get 72 million views on his YouTube, all shooting his YouTube video with his phone leaning up against his water bottle sitting in a park. So like that just goes to show, just be real, be raw, be authentic. Like anyone could build a tribe of people from anywhere, you know. So there's no excuses really. I guess just kind of try to get into it, but it's hard. It's hard to keep it up and keep it going.
Anybody can make it on Baller Busters.
Exactly, 100%. If you dig deeper into that,
So I think this could, I feel like us understanding this right now in the now will definitely help us grow our gummy brand that we are trying to create
100%.
and really dive into this type of marketing around the founders, around building the brand. And I think some people just like to watch the underdog kind of win too in this, huge industry, in the supplement industry, watching these, two dudes trying to grow a gummy brand and watching it in real time.
Yeah,
Like
it's pretty
that's
dope.
content I wish I could have seen.
Elon said that, like, no, Hormozy said that about Elon. Like, how cool would it have been to see daily vlogs or the story of Elon Musk
Mm,
building Tesla? Like, what would you do to have that? Or Bezos building Amazon? Like, oh shit, went bankrupt again, or
yep,
almost, you know, like raised capital today. Like, oh, the stock went up, the stock almost
yep.
crashed. Like, how cool that would have been. So, like, that's going to be the new people, like it or not, like the Logan Pauls and all of these people that are building that tribe that is so strong. You know, like just these people are going to be billionaires, building brands, building Jake Paul or whatever with his deodorant brand that just flew off into Walmart, right?
Hmm.
So all of these, yeah, influencing and content like that, raw. I don't know when it's going to go away or if it's going to go away or what's it going to be after that. I don't really know because that's just we're wanting human connection again. So I guess just the less edited it is, I guess the next step would be VR glasses with POV. Like this
Yeah,
is what I'm doing 24/7. You can log into my life 24/7 and
that'd be crazy.
that would be like live
Yeah,
streaming just like
yeah. But I feel like documenting is very important, and it's even harder to document when you're in the starting phase or in a low point of your life. But that's going to be the most
valuable.
rewarding content you wish you would have had when you do make it.
Mhm.
So like right now, just documenting whatever journey we're on right now in our business, in our agency, in our new brand, and your other brands, documenting now. So when we could look back on it in a couple months, in a couple years, we could reflect on it and be way more appreciative of where we were and how far we've come along. So I'm going to use that as a social clip. Cut that out right there. But any advice for creatives, for business owners who might be struggling right now, starting a e-commerce brand, starting their own journey on social media as a UGC creator or creative in general?
I'm kind of in the same boat myself, honestly, learning more and more about this part of the world. Um, but I guess just what I would do if I was a brand or someone that wants to start something, try to like learn as many of the things as possible. Like try to learn, at least now that you can use ChatGPT for so many things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
lean on it as a resource, pay that $20 a month or whatever to make it your assistant. Ask it anything about legal contracts, about how to setting up LLCs, how to do anything basically, you know. I use it a lot. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe leaning more into just learning how to run the ads, how to edit the content, how to script the content, how to do storytelling, all these things so that you can know how to make money crawl before you walk, basically. You know, like you have to kind of know and just learn decently to the point where you're actually seeing some proof of concept. Even try to be the UGC creator in your own content, you know, try to like learn, and then whatever works for you, replicate that and use that as basically a template or a blueprint for whatever the other creators that you're going to hire on are going to be doing, you know.
For sure. And then for you guys who own an agency or aspire to own one, I would say you're pretty much your walking case study. You utilize your own personal brand now, leverage how to tell stories, how to create content, how to capture engagement to create for your clients. And then same thing for UGC content, like John mentioned, is to be a UGC creator yourself, learn how to create a high converting UGC ad. And in return, now you could do so for other e-com brands or hire on other UGC talent to teach them how to do so.
It's pretty much what my model is now. Like I try to build my own account to get influence, right? So because the more influence you have, you can drive traffic to yourself. So that is kind of my base. And then because of that, I'm getting brand deals or eyeballs on me so I could learn and practice shooting UGC for other brands, make money, which is more than most my people are making just by doing UGC on its own. But I'm also using that to learn and practice for my own brand, Virgin. And then also now with Nita, right? So it's like you're just learning and getting paid to learn, basically. And yeah, I think that's what a lot of people should be doing. Back to what you were saying about agency owners as well. So yeah,
for sure. I think just being open to learning as much as you can throughout the whole process. When we think we know everything, that's when you
die.
Pretty much you're a piece of shit. So just whatever room you're in, whatever videos you're watching, whatever person you're talking to, just make sure you just actively listen sometimes.
For sure.
And just stop talking. There's always something to learn from anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's going to wrap up this podcast. So we kind of went over, the evolution of video marketing. If you guys like this episode, we could dive into it a little bit more because it's kind of cool to see where the direction is going, where if you could become a good storyteller and shoot pretty good content, you don't need to be doing these 50K projects by any means where you need a red cinema camera, all this stuff. You just got to be able to capture attention, retention for those viewers and whatever, and then be able to create high converting, content or whatever. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. That's a good, quick little podcast. And if you guys haven't yet subscribed to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, and if you guys are watching it on YouTube, drop a comment below with your favorite takeaway. And we do have a quick giveaway winner before I forget. Last episode, I mentioned screenshot, drop a screenshot on your stories with your favorite takeaway from episode number 2. And Noel, you are the winner. So I will be reaching out to you for the bold proposal template. Congrats. So that's going to wrap up this podcast. See you guys in the next one.
Later.
Bye.